nuptial hour jaws on apace. 4 happy days brings in another moon, but methinks how slow this old moon weighs. She lingers my desires like to a stepdame or a dowager, long withering out to young man's revenue.
4 days will quickly steep themselves into night. 4 nights will quickly dream away the time, and then the moon, like to a silver bow, new bent in heaven, shall behold the night of our solemnities.
Polita, I wooed thee with my... Go, Philostrate, stir up the Athenian youth to merriment, awake the pert and nimble spirit of mirth, turn melancholy forth to funerals, the pale companion is not far upon. Hippolyta, I wooed thee with my sword, one that loved doing the injury, but I will wed thee in another key, with pomp, with triumph, and with revelling. Thanks, good Aegeus. What's the news with thee?
Full of vexation come I with complaint against my child, my daughter Hermia. Stand forth, Demetrius. My noble lord, this man hath my consent to marry her. Stand forth, Lysander. And my gracious duke, this man hath bewitched the bosom of my child. Thou, Lysander, thou hast given her rhymes and interchanged love tokens with my child. Thou hast by moonlight at her window sung with feigning voice verses of feigning love, and stolen the impression of her fantasies, with bracelets of thy hair, rings, gauds, conceits, knacks, trifles, nosegays, sweetmeats, messengers of strong prevailment and unhardened youth. With cunning hast thou filched my daughter's heart, turned her obedience, which is due to me, to stubborn harshness. And be it so, she will not hear before your grace consent to marry with Demetrius. I beg the ancient privilege of Athens, as she is mine, I may dispose of her, which shall either be to this gentleman or to her death, according to our law immediately provided for that case.
What say you, Hermia? Be advised, fair maid, to you your father should be as a god, one whom composed your beauties, yea, and one to whom you are but as a form in wax, by him imprinted and within his power to leave the figure or disfigure it. Demetrius is a worthy gentleman. So is Lysander. In himself he is, but in this kind, wanting your father's voice, the other must be held the worthier.
I would my father looked with my eyes.
Rather your eyes must with his judgment look.
I do entreat your grace to pardon me. I know not by what power I am made bold, nor how it may concern my modesty in such a presence here to plead my thoughts. But I beseech your grace that I may know the worst that may befall me in this case, if I refuse to wed Demetrius.
Either to die the death or to abjure forever the society of men. Therefore, fair Hermia, question your desires, know of your youth, examine well your blood, whether, if you yield not to your father's choice, you can endure the livery of a nun. For I to be in shady cloister view, to live a barren sister all your life, chanting faint hymns to the cold, fruitless moon. Thrice blessed they that so master their blood, to undergo such maiden pilgrimage. But earthly or happy is the rose distilled than that which withering on the virgin thorn grows, lives, and dies in single blessedness.
So will I grow, so live, so die, my lord, ere I will yield my virgin Peyton up unto his lordship, whose unwished yoke my soul consents not to give sovereignty.
Take time to pause, and by the next new moon, the sealing day betwixt my love and me for everlasting bond of fellowship, upon that day, either prepare to die for disobedience to your father's will, or else to wed Demetrius as he would, or on Diana's altar to protest for austerity and single life.
Sweet Hermia, relent, and Lysander, yield thy crazed title to my certain right.
You have her father's love, Demetrius. Let me have Hermia's. Do you marry him? Scornful Lysander! True, he hath my love, and what is mine, my love shall render him. And she is mine, and all my right of her I do state unto Demetrius. I am, my lord, as well derived as he, as well possessed. My love is more than his. My fortunes every way as fairly ranked, if not with vantage, as Demetrius. And, which is more than all these boasts can be, I am beloved of beauteous Hermia. Why should I not then prosecute my right? Demetrius, I'll vouch it to his head, made love to Nader's daughter Helena, and she, sweet lady,
devoutly dotes in idolatry to this spotted and inconstant man.
I must confess that I have heard so much, and with Demetrius' daughter spoke thereof, but being overfull of self-affairs, my mind did lose it. But Demetrius, come, and come, Aegeus, you shall go with me. I have some private schooling for you both. As for you, fair Hermia, look you arm yourself to fit your fancies to your father's will, or else the law of Athens yield you up, which by no means we may extenuate, to death or to a vow of single life. Come, my Hippolyta, let's cheer, my love. Demetrius and Aegeus, go along. I must employ you in some business against our nuptial, and confer with you of something nearly that concerns yourselves.
With duty and desire, we follow you.
Oh, now, my love, why is your cheek so pale? How chance the roses there do fade so fast?
Belike for want of rain, which I could well beteem them from the tempest of my eyes.
Ay me, for aught that I could ever read, could ever hear in tale or history, the course of true love never did run smooth, but either it was different in blood,
Oh, cross too high to be enthralled too low.
or else misgrafted in the respective years.
Oh, spite too old to be engaged too young.
Or if it stood upon the choice of friends.
Oh, hell to choose love by another's eyes.
Or if there were a sympathy in choice, war, death, or sickness did lay siege to it, making it momentary as a sound, swift as a shadow, short as any dream, brief as the lightning in the colead night, that which in a spleen unfolds both heaven and earth, and ere a man had the power to say, behold, the jaws of darkness do devour it up. So quick, bright things come to confusion.
If then true lovers have been ever crossed, let it stand as an edict of destiny. Then let us teach our trial patience, because it is a customary cross, as due to love as thoughts and dreams and sighs, wishes and tears, poor fancy's followers.
A good persuasion, therefore, hear me, Hermia. I have a widow aunt, a dowager of great revenue, and she hath no child. From Athens is her house, remote 7 leagues, and she respects me as her only son. There, gentle Hermia, may I marry thee, and to that place the sharp Athenian law cannot pursue us. If thou lovest me, then steal forth thy father's house tomorrow night, and in that wood, a league without the town, where I did meet thee once with Helena to do observance to morn of May, there will I stay for thee.
My good Lysander, I swear to thee by Cupid's strongest bow, by his best arrow with the golden head, by the simplicity of Venus' doves, by that which knitteth souls and prospers love, and by the fire which burned the Carthage queen when the false Troyan under sail was seen. By all the vows that ever men have broken, number more than ever women spoke. In that same place thou hast appointed me, tomorrow truly will I meet with thee.
Keep promise, love.
Oh, look, here comes Helena.
Godspeed, fair Helena, whither away?
Call you me fair? That fair again unsay. Demetrius loves your fair. Oh, happy fair. Your eyes are lodestars, and your tongue sweet air more tunable than lark the shepherd's ear. When wheat is green, when hawthorn buds appear, sickness is catching. Oh, were favor so, yours would I catch, fair Hermia, ere I go. My ears should catch your voice, my eye your eye, my tongue should catch your tongue's sweet melody. Were the world mine, Demetrius being baited, the rest I give to be to you translated. Oh, teach me how you look, and with what art you sway the motion of Demetrius' heart.
I frown upon him, yet he loves me still.
Oh, that your frowns would teach my smile such skill.
I give him curses, yet he gives me love.
Oh, that my prayers could such affection move.
The more I hate, the more he follows me.
The more I love, the more he hateth me.
His folly, Helena, is no fault of mine.
None but your beauty, would that fault were mine.
Take comfort, he no more shall see my face. Lysander and myself will fly this place. Before the time I did Lysander see, seemed Athens as a paradise to me. Oh, that what graces in my love do dwell, that he hath turned a heaven unto a hell.
Helen, to you our minds we will unfold. Tomorrow night, when Phoebe doth behold her silver visage in the watery glass, decking with liquid pearl a bladed grass, a time when lovers' flights doth still conceal, through Athens' gates have we devised to steal.
And in the woods where often you and I upon faint primrose beds were wont to lie, emptying our bosoms of their counsel sweet, there my Lysander and myself shall meet. And thence from Athens turn away our eyes to seek new friends in stranger companies. Farewell, sweet playfellow, pray thou for us, and good luck grant thee thy Demetrius. Keep word, Lysander, we must starve our sight from lovers' food till morrow deep midnight.
I will, my love. Helen, adieu. As you on him, Demetrius dote on you.
How happy some or other some can be. Through Athens I'm thought as fair as she. But what of that? Demetrius thinks not so. He will not know it all, but he do know. And as he errs, doting on Hermia's eyes, so I, admiring of his qualities things base and vile, holding no quantity, love can transpose to form and dignity. Love looks not with the eyes, but with the mind, and therefore is winged Cupid, painfully blind. Nor hath love's mind of any judgment taste, wings and no eyes, figure unheedy haste. And therefore is love said to be a child, because in choice he is so oft beguiled. As waggish boys in game themselves forswear, so the boy love is perjured everywhere. For ere Demetrius looked on Hermia's eye, he hailed down oaths that he was only mine. And when this hail some heat from Hermia felt, so he dissolved, and showers of oaths did melt. I will go tell him of fair Hermia's flight. Then to the wood will he tomorrow night pursue her. And for this intelligence, if I have thanks, it is a dear expense. But here in me nigh to enrich my pain, to have his sight thither and back again.
Call them generally, man by man, according to the script.
Here's the scroll of every man's name, which is thought fit through all of Athens, to plan our interlude before the Duke and Duchess on his wedding day at night.
First, good Peter Quince, say what the play treats on, then read the names of the actors, and so grow to a point.
Mary, our play is the most lamentable comedy and the most cruel death of Pyramus and Thisbe.
A very good piece of work, I assure you, and to Mary. Now, Peter Quince, call forth your actors by the scroll. Master, spread yourselves.
Answer as I call you. Nick Bottom, the weaver.
Ready? Name what part I'm for and proceed.
You, Nick Bottom, are set down for Pyramus.
What is Pyramus? A lover or a tyrant?
A lover that kills himself, most gallant for love.
That will ask some tears in the true performing of it. If I do it, let the audience look to their eyes. I will move storms. I will condole in some measure. To the rest, yet my chief humor is for a tyrant. I could play Heracles rarely, or a part to Taricatin, to make all split. The raging rocks and shivering shocks shall break the locks of prison gates, and Phoebus' car shall shine from far, and make and mar the foolish fate. Oh, this was lofty. Now name the rest of the players.
Francis.
This is Heracles' vein,
Francis.
a tyrant's vein,
Francis.
a lover is more condoling.
Francis Flute, the bellows mender.
Here, Peter Quince.
Flute, you must take Thisbe onto you.
What is Thisbe? A wandering knight?
It is the lady that Pyramus must love.
Faith, let me not play a woman. I have a beard. Coming.
That's all one. You shall play it in a mask, and you may speak as small as you will.
Oh, and I may hide my face. Let me play Thisbe too. I'll speak in a monstrous little voice. Disney.
Ah, Pyramus, lover dear, thy Thisbe dear, and lady dear.
You must play no part for Pyramus, and flute you Thisbe.
Well, proceed.
Robin Starveling, the tailor.
Here, Peter Quince.
You must play Thisbe's mother. Tom Snout, the tinker.
Here, Peter Quince.
You, Pyramus's father. Myself, Thisbe's father. Slug the joiner. You, the lion's part. And here, I hope is a play fitted.
Have you the lion's part written? I pray if it be, give it me, for I am slow of study.
That's all one. You may do this simple race, for there's nothing but one.
Oh, let me play the lion too. I will roar that I will do any man's heart good to hear me. I will roar that I will make the Duke say, let him roar again, let him roar again.
And you shall do it too terribly, that you would fright the duchess and the ladies, that they would shriek, and that were enough to hang us all.
They would hang us like a mother son.
I grant you, friends, that if you should fright the ladies out of their wits, they would have no more discretion but to hang us. But I will aggravate my voice so that I will roar you as gently as any sucking dove. I will roar, and for any nightingale.
You must play Pyramus, for Pyramus is a sweet-faced man, a kind man, one that you shall see on a summer's day, the most lovely gentleman-like man. Therefore, you must needs play Pyramus.
Well, I will undertake it. What beard were I best to play it in?
Why, what you will.
I will discharge it in either your straw-colored beard, your orange tawny beard, your purple and grain beard, or your French crown-colored beard, your perfect yellow.
Some of your French crowns have no hair at all, and then you shall play bare-faced. Masters, here are your parts, and I request you, entreat you, and desire you to calm them by tomorrow night, and meet me in the palace woods, a mile south of town, for there we shall rehearse. For if we meet in the city, we shall be dogged with company, and our devices known. In the meantime, I will draw a bill of property, such as our play wants. I pray you, fail me not.
We will meet, and there we may rehearse most obscenely and courageously. Take pains, be perfect. Adieu.
At the Duke's opening meeting.
Enough! Hold or cut bowstrings.
Through a bush, through a briar, over park, over pale, through a flood, through a fire. I do wander everywhere, swifter than the moon's sphere, and I do serve the fairy queen to do her orbs upon the green. The cowslips tall her pensioners be, and in their gold coats spots you see, those be rubies, fairy favors. In their freckles lie their saviors. I must go seek some dewdrops here, and hang a pearl in every cowslip's ear. Farewell, thou lob of spirits, all be gone. Our queen and all our elves come here anon.
The king must keep his revels here tonight. Take heed the queen come not within his sight. For Oberon is passing fell in wrath, because that she is her attendant hath. A loved boy stolen from an Indian king. She never had so sweet a changeling. And jealous Oberon would have the child, not of his train to trace the forest wild. But she perforce withholds the loved boy, crowns him with flowers and makes him her joy. And now they never meet in grove or green, fountain clear or spangled starlight sheen. But they do square, and all the elves for fear creep into acorn cups and hide them there.
Either I mistake your shape in making quite, or else you are that shrewd and knavish sprite, called Robin Goodfellow. Are you not he who fights the maidens of the villagery, skim milk and sometimes labor in the quern, and bootless make the breathless housewife churn, and sometimes make the drink to bear no bar, mislead night wanderers laughing at their harm? Those hobgoblin call you, and sweet Puck, they do your work and they shall have good luck. Are you not he?
Thou speak'st aright. I am that merry wanderer of the night. I jest to Oberon and make him smile, when I that fat and bean-fed horse beguile. Neighing in likeness of a filly foal, sometimes look I in the gossip's bowl, in the very likeness of a roasted crab, and when she drinks against her lips I bob. Sometimes, and with a do lap toward the ale, the wisest aunts telling the saddest tale. Sometimes 3-foot stool mistakenly, then slip I from her bum, down toppled she, and the tailor cries and falls into the cot, and the whole choir hold their hips and laugh, and wax in their mouth and sneeze and swear. A merry hour was never wasted there. But, room fairy, here comes Oberon.
Here my mistress would that he were gone.
Ill met by moonlight, proud Titania.
What? Jealous Oberon? Fair skip hence. I have forsworn his bed and company.
Tarry, rash wanton, am I not thy lord?
Then I must be thy lady. But I know thou hast stolen away from fairyland, and in the shape of corn sat all day, playing on pipes of corn and versing love to amorous Phillida. Why art thou here, come from the farthest step of India? But that forsooth, the bouncing Amazon, your busked mistress and your warrior love to Theseus must be wed, and you come to give their bed joy and prosperity.
How canst thou thus for shame, Titania, glance at my credit with Hippolyta, knowing I know thy love to Theseus? Didst not lead him to the glittering night from Perigenia, whom he ravished, and making with fair Agnes break his faith with Ariadne and Antiopa?
These are the forgeries of jealousy, and never since the midsummer spring met we on hill and dale, forest or mead, by paved fountain or by rushy brook, or in the beached margins of the sea to dance our ringlets to the whistling wind. But with thy brawls thou hast disturbed our sport. Therefore the winds, piping to us in vain, as in revenge, hath sucked up from the sea contagious fogs, which falling in the land have every pelting river made so proud that they have overborne their continents. The ox hath therefore stretched his yoke in vain, the plowman lost his sweat, the grain corn rotted ere his youth attained a beard. The fold stands empty in the drowned field, and crows are fatted with the murrain flock. The 9 men's morrises filled up with mud, and the quaint mazes in the wanton green, for lack of tread, are undistinguishable. The human mortals want their winter cheer. No night is now with him or carol blessed. Therefore the moon, the governess of floods, pale in her anger, washes all the air that rheumatic diseases do abound. And through this distemperature we see the seasons alter. Hoary-headed frosts fall on the fresh lap of the crimson rose, and on old Hyam's thin and icy crown, an odorous chaplet of sweet summer buds is, as in mockery, set. The spring, the summer, childing autumn, angry winter change their wonted liveries, and the mazed world by their increase now knows not which is which. And this same progeny of evils comes from our debate, from our dissension. We are their parents and original.
Do you amend it then? It lies in you. Why should Titania cross her Oberon? I do but beg a little changeling boy to be my henchman.
Set your heart at rest. The fairy land buys not the child of me. His mother was a votress of my order, and in the spiced Indian air by night full often hath she gossiped by my side, and sat with me on Neptune's yellow sands, marking the embarked traders in the flood.
When we have laughed to see the sails conceive and grow big-bellied with the wanton wind, which she, with pretty and with swimming gait following, her womb then rich with my young squire, would imitate, and sail upon the land to fetch me trifles and return again as from a voyage rich with merchandise. But she, being mortal of that boy, did die, and for her sake will I rear up her boy, and for her sake I will not part with him.
How long within this wood intend you stay?
Perchance till after Theseus' wedding day. If you will patiently dance in our round and see our moonlight revels, go with us. If not, shun me, and I will spare your haunts.
Give me that boy, and I will go with thee.
Not for thy fairy kingdom. Fairies away. We shall chide downright if I longer stay.
Or go thy way. Thou shalt not from this grove till I torment thee for this injury. My gentle Puck, come hither. Now remember, since once I sat upon a promontory, and heard a mermaid on a dolphin's back, uttering such dulcet and harmonious breath that the rude sea grew civil at her song, and certain stars shot madly from their spheres to hear the sea maid's music.
I remember.
That very time I saw, but thou couldst not, flying between the cold moon and the earth Cupid, all armed. A certain aim he took at a fair vestal thrown in by the west, and loosed his love shaft smartly from his bow, as it should pierce 100,000 hearts. But I might see young Cupid's fiery shaft quenched in the chaste beams of the watery moon, and the imperial votaress passed on in maiden meditation, fancy free. Yet marked I, with the bolt of Cupid fell upon a little western flower, before milk white, now purple with love's wound. And maidens call it love and idleness. Fetch me that flower. The herb I showed thee once, on sleeping eyelids laid, will make or man or woman mad dote upon the next live creature that it sees. Fetch me this herb, and be thou here again ere the Leviathan can swim a league.
I'll put a girth around the world else in 40 minutes.
Having once the juice of this, I'll watch Titania when she's asleep, and drop the liquor of it in her eyes. The next thing then she waking looks upon, be it on lion, bear, or wolf, or bull, on meddling monkey, or on busy ape, she shall pursue it with the soul of love. And ere I take this charm from off her sight, as I can take it with another herb, I'll make her render up her page to me. When he comes here, I am invisible and will overhear the conference.
I love thee not, therefore pursue me not. Where is Lysander and fair Hermia? The one I'll slay, the other slayeth me. Thou toldst me they were stolen unto this wood, and here am I, and woed within this wood, because I cannot meet my Hermia. Hence, get thee gone, and torment me no further.
You draw me, you hard-hearted adamant, but yet you draw not iron, for my heart is true as steel. Leave you your power to draw, and I shall have no power to follow you.
Do I entice you? Do I speak you fair? Or rather, do I not in plainest truth tell you I do not, nor I cannot, love you?
And even for that do I love you the more. I am your spaniel, and Demetrius, the more you beat me, I will fawn on you. Use me but as your spaniel. Spurn me, strike me, neglect me, lose me. Only give me leave, unworthy as I am, to follow you.
Tempt not
What worse place can I beg in your love, and yet a place of high respect with me, than to be used as you use your dog?
Tempt not too much the hatred of my spirit, for I am sick when I do look on thee.
And I am sick when I look not on you.
You do impeach your modesty too much to leave the city and commit yourself into the hands of one that loves you not, to trust the opportunity
your face. Therefore I think I am not in the night, nor not this woodland world of company, for you, in my respect, are all the world. Then how can it be said I am alone when all the world is here to look on me?
I will run from thee and hide me in the brake, and leave thee to the mercy of wild beasts.
The wildest hath not such a heart as you. One way you will, the story shall be changed. Apollo flies and Daphne holds the chase. The dove pursues the griffin. The mild hind makes speed to catch the tiger. Bootless speed when cowardice pursues and valor flies.
I will not say thy questions. Let me go. Or if thou wilt not, do not believe that I shall do thee mischief in the woods.
Aye, in the temple, the town, the fields, you do me mischief. Fie, Demetrius, your wrongs do set a scandal in my sex. We cannot fight for love as men may do. We should be wooed, and we're not made to woo. I'll follow thee and make a heaven of hell, to die upon the hand I love so well.
Fare thee well, nymph. Ere he do leave this grove, thou shalt fly him, and he shall seek thy love. Hast thou the flower there? Welcome, wanderer.
Aye, there it is.
I pray thee give it me. I know a bank where the wild thyme blows, where ox lips and the nodding violet grows, quite over canopied with luscious woodbine, with sweet musk roses and with eglantine. There sleeps Titania sometime of the night, lulled in these flowers with dances and delight. And there the snake sheds her enameled skin, weed wide enough to wrap a fairy in. And with the juice of this, I'll streak her eyes and make her full of hateful fantasies. Take thou some of it, and seek through this grove. A sweet Athenian lady is in love with the disdainful youth. Anoint his eyes, but do it when the next thing he espies may be the lady. Thou shalt know the man by the Athenian garments he hath on. Affect it with some care, that he may prove more fond on her than she upon her love. And look thou meet me at the first cock crow.
Fear not, my lord, your servant shall do so.
Come, now a roundel of the fairy song. Then for the third part of a minute hence. Some to kill cankers in the musk rose buds. Some to war with rear mice for their leathern wings to make my small elves boots. And some keep back the clamorous owl that nightly hoots and wonders at our quaint spirits. Sing me now asleep, then to your offices, and let me rest. I sit and sigh, brew and bracken. Why should I sit and sigh all alone and weary? When I see the plover rising, or the curlews wheeling, then I'll court my mortal lover, back to me is stealing. When the moon begins her waning, I sit by the water, where the one born of the sunlight loved a fairy's daughter. Why should I sit and sigh, brew and bracken? Why should I sit and sigh all alone and weary? Ah, but there is something wanting, oh, but I am weary. Come now, glide now, bonny, tread she o'er the knolls to cheer me. Who is this I see before me, through the willows peering? Smile as sweet as hawthorn blooming, love has come to cheer me. Why should I sit and sigh, brew and bracken? Why should I sit and sigh, all alone and weary? You spotted snakes with double tongue.
Thorny hedgehogs may not see. Newts and bivalves do no long.
Come not near our fairy queen.
Philomel with melody.
Singing on a sweet lullaby.
Lulla, lulla, lullaby. Lulla, lulla, lullaby.
Come our lovely lady nigh.
So good night with lullaby.
Weaving spiders come not near.
Beetles black approach not near. Hence you all like spindles hence.
Worm nor snail do no offense.
Philomel with melody.
Singing on a sweet
Lulla,
Lulla, lulla, lullaby. Lulla, lulla, lullaby. Hence away, now all is well. One aloof stands sentinel.
Thou seest, thou dost wake. Do it for thy true love take. Love and languish for his sake. Be it ounce or cat or bear, hard or boar with bristled hair. In thy eye that shall appear, when thou wakest, it is thy dear. Wake when some vile thing is near.
Fair love, you faint with wandering in the wood. And to speak troth, I have forgot our way. We'll rest us, Hermia, if you think it good, and tarry for the comfort of the day.
And be it so, Lysander, find you out of bed, for I upon this bank will rest my head.
One turf shall serve as pillow for us both. One bed, one heart, two bosoms, and one troth.
Nay, good Lysander, for my sake, my dear, lie further off, do not lie so near.
Oh, take sense, sweet, of my innocence. Love takes the meaning in love's conference. I mean that my heart unto yours is knit, so that but one heart we can make of it. Two bosoms interchained with an oath, so then two bosoms and a single troth. Then by your side no bedroom me deny, for lying so, Hermia, I do not lie.
Lysander riddles very prettily, but much beshrew my manners and my pride if Hermia meant to say Lysander lie. But gentle friend, for love and courtesy lie further off. In human modesty, such separation as may well be said becomes a virtuous bachelor and a maid. So far be distant, and good night, sweet friend, thy life ne'er Aldo to thy sweet life end.
Amen, amen. To that fair prayer say I, and ending life when I am loyalty. Here is my bed, sleep give thee all his rest.
With half that wish, the wisher's eyes impressed.
Through the forest have I gone, but the Athenian found I none. On whose eyes I might approve this flower's force of stirring love. Night in silence, who is here? Weeds of Athens he doth wear. This is he, my master said, despised the Athenian maid. And here is the maiden, sleeping sound on the dank and doughty ground. Pretty soul, she doth not lie, near this rock love, this kill courtesy. Trail upon thy eye I throw, all the power in this charm doth owe. When thou wakest, let love forbid, sleep a seat on thy eyelid. belongs now to Oberon.
Stay, don't kill me, sweet Demetrius.
I charge thee hence, and do not haunt me thus.
Oh, wilt thou darkling leave me? Do not so.
Stay, on thy peril, I alone will go.
Oh, I am out of breath in this fawn chase. The more my prayer, the lesser is my grace. Happy is Hermia, where sore she lies, for she hath blessed and attractive eyes. How came her eye so bright? Not with salt tears. If so, mine eyes are oftener washed than hers. No, no. I am as ugly as a bear, for beasts that meet me run away for fear. Therefore no marvel though Demetrius do, as a monster fly my presence thus. What wicked and dissembling glass of mine made me compare with Hermia's fairy eye? But who is here? Lysander, on the ground, dead, or asleep? I see no blood, no wound. Lysander, if you live, good sir, awake!
And run through fire I will for thy sweet sake. Transparent Helena, nature shows art that through thy bosom lets me see thy heart. Where is Demetrius? Oh, how fit a word is that vile name to perish on thy sword.
Do not say so, Lysander, say not so. What though he love your Hermia, Lord, what though? Yet Hermia still loves you, then be content.
Content with Hermia? No! I do repent the tedious minutes with her I have spent. Not Hermia, but Helena I love, who would not change a raven for a dove. Man is with his reason swayed, and reason says you are the worthier maid. Things growing are not ripe until their season, so I, being young till now, ripe not to reason. And touching now the point of human skill, reason becomes the marshal to my will, which leads me to your eyes, where I o'erlook love stories written in love's richest book.
Wherefore was I to this keen mockery born? When at your hands did I deserve this scorn? It's not enough, young man, that I did never know, nor never can deserve a sweet look from Demetrius' eye. But you must flout my insufficiency? Good troth, you do me wrong, good sooth you do, in such disdainful manner me to woo. But very well, perforce I must confess, I thought you lord of more true gentleness. Oh, that a lady of one man refused should of another therefore be abused.
No. She sees not Hermia. Hermia, sleep thou there, and never mayst thou come Lysander near. Or as a servant of the sweetest things, the deepest loathing to the stomach brings, or as the heresies that men do leave, be hated most of those they did deceive. So my surfeit and my heresy of all be hated but the most of me. And all my powers address your love and might, to honor Helen and to be her knight.
Help me, Lysander, help me. Do thy best to pluck this crawling serpent from my breast. Ay me, for pity, what a dream was here. Lysander, look how I do quake with fear. Methought a serpent ate my heart away, and you sat smiling at his cruel prey. Lysander? What removed? Lysander, Lord. What, out of hearing? Gone? No sound, no word? Alack, where are you? Speak, and if you hear, speak of all loves. I swoon almost with fear. No? Then I well perceive you are not nigh. Either death or you I'll find immediately.
Are we all met?
Stop, Pat. Here's a marvelous convenient place for rehearsal. This green plot shall be our stage. This hawthorn brake our time house. And we shall do it in action as we will do it in front of the Duke.
Peter Quince,
What's this, Loudly Bottom?
there are things in this comedy of Pyramus and Thisbe that will never please. First, Pyramus must draw a sword to kill himself, which the ladies cannot abide. How answer you to that?
Fire lack and a parlous fear.
I believe we must leave the killing act when all is done.
Not a whit. I have a device to make all well. Write me a prologue, and let the prologue seem to say, we will do no harm with our swords, and that Pyramus is not killed in need. And for the more better assurance, tell them that I, Pyramus, am not Pyramus, but Bottom the Weaver. This will put them out of all fear.
Well, we will have such a prologue, and it shall be written in 8 and 6.
No, let it be 2 more. Let it be written in 8 and 8.
Will not the ladies be feared of the lion?
I fear it, I promise you.
Masters, you ought to consider with yourselves to bring in, God shield us, a lion among ladies is the most dreadful thing. For there is not a more fearful wild fowl than your lion living, and we ought to look to it.
Therefore, another prologue must tell he is not a lion.
Nay, you must name his name, and half his face must be seen through the lion's neck, and he himself must stand forward, saying thus, or to the same effect, ladies, or fair ladies, I would wish you, or I would request you, or I would entreat you not to fear, not to tremble, my life for yours. If you think I come hither as a lion, it were pity of my life. No, I am no such thing. I am a man as other men are. And there indeed, let him name his name and tell them plainly, he is Snug the Joiner.
Well, it shall be so. But there's 2 hard things, that is, to bring the moonshine into the chamber, for, Pyramus and Thisbe meet by moonlight.
Doth the moonshine the night we play our play?
A calendar! Look in the almanac! Find out moonshine!
Yes, it does shine that night.
Oh, why? Then you may leave a casement of the great chamber window where we play open, and the moon may shine in at the casement.
Then there is another thing. One must come in with a lanthorn and a bush of thorn and say he comes to present or to disfigure the person of moonshine. Then there's another thing. We must have a wall in the great chamber, for, says the story, Pyramus and Thisbe did talk through the chink of the wall.
You can never bring in a wall. What say you, Bottom?
Some man or other must present wall, and let him have some plaster or some rough cast about him to signify wall. And let him hold his fingers thus, and through that cranny shall Pyramus and Thisbe whisper.
If that may be, then all is well. Come, every mother's son, sit and rehearse your part. Pyramus, once you have spoken your speech, enter into that grave, and so every man according to his cheer.
What? Happy homes, funds have we swaggling here? So near the cradle of the fairy queen? What? A play tour? I'll be an auditor. An act or two, perhaps, if I see cause.
Speak, Pyramus. Thisbe, stand forth.
Thisbe, the flowers of odious savor sweet.
Odorous.
Odorous savor sweet. So have my breath, my dearest Thisbe dear. But hark, a voice. Stay thou but here a while, and by I will to thee appear.
A stranger, Pyramus, then our play here.
Must I speak now?
Aye, Mary, must you? You must understand that he goes to see a noise that he has heard and is to come again.
Most radiant Pyramus.
Most radiant Pyramus.
most radiant Pyramus. Most lily white of hue, of color like the red rose on triumphant briar. Most brisky juvenile and eke most lovely jewel. As true as horse that yet would never tire. I'll meet thee, Pyramus, at Nini's tomb.
Nina's tomb. Man, why? You must not speak that yet. You answer to Pyramus only. You must speak all your parts at once. Cues and all. Pyramus, enter. Your cue has passed. It is never tired.
Oh, as truest horse that yet would never tire.
If I were fit, this be our own design.
Monsters, oh strength! We are conquered. Pray masters, fly masters, out!
I'll follow you. I'll lead you about. Round to bush, to wake, to fire. Sometimes a horse I'll be. Sometimes a hound. Horn, headless bear. Sometimes fire. And not. And then you found to gun to war like horse, hound, horn, bear, fire. At every town.
Why do they run away? This is a knavery of them to make me afeard.
Oh, bottom, how are changed? What do I see on thee?
What do you see? You see an ass head of your own, do you?
Oh, bottom. Bless thee, bottom. Thou art translated.
I see their knavery. This is to make an ass of me, to fright me if they could. But I will not stir from this place. Do what they can. I will walk up and down, and I will sing, so that they shall hear I am not afraid. Ahem. The ousel cock so black of hue with orange tawny bill, the throstle with his note so true, the wren with little quill,
What angel wakes me from my flowery bed?
the finch, the sparrow, and the lark, the plain song cuckoo gray, whose note full many a man doth mark, and dares not answer nay. For indeed, who would such as wit so foolish a bird? Who would give a bird the lie, though he cry cuckoo never so?
I pray thee, gentle mortal, sing again. Mine ear is much enamored of thy note, so is mine eye thralled to thy shape, and thy fair virtue's force perforce doth move me on the first view to say, to swear, I love thee.
Methinks, mistress, you should have little reason for that. And yet, to tell truth, reason and love keep little company together nowadays. The more the pity that some honest neighbors should not make them friends. Nay, I can gleek upon occasion.
Thou art as wise as thou art beautiful.
Oh, not so neither. But if I had wit enough to get out of this wood, I have enough to serve mine own turn.
Out of this wood, do not desire to go. Thou shalt remain here, whether thou wilt or no. I am a spirit of no common rate. The summer still doth tend upon my state, and I do love thee. Therefore go with me. I'll give thee fairies to attend on thee, and they shall fetch thee jewels from the deep, and sing while thou on pressed flowers dost sleep. And I shall purge thy mortal grossness so that thou shalt like an airy spirit go. Peace blossom, cobweb, moth, and mustard seed. Ready?
And I.
Where shall we go? Be kind and courteous to this gentleman. Hop in his walks and gambol in his eyes. Feed him with apricots and dewberries, with purple figs, green grapes, and mulberries. The honeybags steal from the humble bees, and for night tapers crop their waxen thighs, and light them on the fiery glowworm's eyes, to have my love to bed and to arise, and pluck the wings from painted butterflies, to fan the moonbeams from his sleeping eyes. Nod to him, elves, and do him courtesies. Hail, immortal.
Hail, hail, hail.
I cry your worship's mercy heartily. I beseech your worship's name. I shall desire you a more acquaintance, good Master Cobweb. If I cut my finger, I shall make bold with you. Your name, honest gentleman?
Peas Blossom.
Oh, I pray you, commend me to Mistress Squash, your mother, and to Master Peascod, your father. Good Master Peas Blossom, I shall desire you a more acquaintance. Your name, honest gentleman?
Mustard seed.
Oh, Good Master Mustard Seed, I know your patience well. That same cowardly, giant-like ox beef hath devoured many a gentleman of your house. I promise you your kindred have made mine eyes water ere now. I shall desire you of more acquaintance, good Master Mustard Seed.
Come, wait upon him. Lead him to my bower. The moon, methinks, looks with a watery eye, and when she weeps, weeps every little flower, lamenting some enforced chastity. Tie up my lover's tongue. Bring him silently. We beg your indulgence for a brief intermission.
We're starting now.
I wonder if Titania be awaked. And what it was that next came in her eye when she must dote on in extremity. Come, my messenger. How now, my spirit? What's natural now about this haunted grove?
My mistress with the monster is in love. Near to her close and consecrated bower, while she was in her dull and sleeping hour, a crew of patches, rude mechanicals, that worked for bread upon Athenian stalls, were met together to a house of play intended for great Theseus' nuptial day. The shallow thick skin of a barren sort, which Pyramus presented in no sport, forsook his scene and entered in a break. When I took him a disadvantage take, an ass's no lie fixed on his head, and on his thisme must be answered. And forth my mimic comes when they him spy, as wild geese in the creeping fowler eye, or a lessipated jot, of many a sort, raising and clawing at the guns of port, savor themselves and madly sweep the sky. So, at the sight, away fellows fly. Then, at our stamp, o'er and o'er one falls. Hermia cries and help from Athens calls. Then, and thus weak, lost with their fears the strong, made madly senseless things began to do them wrong. For briars and thorns at their appalled snatch, some sleeves, some hats from elders all things catch. I led them on in this distracted fear, unless we Pyramus translated there. When, so in that moment, so it came to pass, Titania waked and straightway loved an ass.
This falls out better than I could devise. But hast thou yet latched the Athenians' eyes with the love juice as they bid thee do?
I took him sleeping, and that's finished too, and the Athenian woman by his side, that when she wakes, the force, she must be I.
Stand close. This is the same Athenian.
This is the woman, but this not his woman.
Oh, why rebuke you him that loves you so? Lay breath so bitter on your bitter foe.
Now I but chide, but I should use thee worse, for thou, I fear, hast given me cause to curse. If thou hast slain Lysander in his sleep, being o'er shoes in blood, plunge in the deep and kill me too. The sun was not so true unto the day as he to me would have stolen away from sleeping Hermia. I'll believe as soon as whole earth may be born, and that the moon may through the center creep and so displease her brother's noontide with Antipodes. It cannot be but thou hast murdered him. So should a murder look, so dead, so grim.
So should the murdered look, and so should I, pierced through the heart with your stern cruelty. But you, the murderer, look as bright, as clear as yonder Venus in her glimmering sphere.
What's this to my Lysander? Where is he? Ah, good Demetrius, wilt thou give him me?
I'd rather give his carcass to my hound.
Out, dog! Out, cur! Thou draggest me past the bounds of maiden's patience. Hast thou slain him, then henceforth be never numbered among men? Oh, once tell true, even for my sake. Durst thou have looked upon him being awake, and hast thou killed him sleeping? Oh, brave touch, could not a worm, an adder do so much? An adder did it for a doubler tongue than thine, that serpent never adder stung.
You spend your passion on a misprized mood. I am not guilty of Lysander's blood, nor is he dead, for aught that I can tell. could. What should I get there for?
A privilege never to see me more. And from thy hated presence part I so, see me no more, whether he be dead or no.
There's no following her in this fierce vein. Here, therefore, for a while I will remain. So sorrow's heaviness doth heavier grow, for death that bankrupt sleep doth sorrow owe, which in some slight measure it will pay, if for his tender here I make some stay.
What hast thou done? Thou hast mistaken quite, and laid the love juice on some true love's sight. Thy misprision must perforce ensue, some true love turn, another false turn true.
The fatal rules that one man holds in troth, a million fail confounding oath and oath.
About this wood goes swift in the wind, and Helena of Athens look thou find. All fancy sick she is, and pale of cheer, with sighs of love that cost the fresh blood dear, by some illusion. See thou bring her here. I'll charm his eyes against she do appear.
I go. Look how I go, swifter than arrow from Pyramus bow.
Flower of this purple dye, hid with Cupid's archery, sink an apple of his eye, when his love he doth espy. Let her shine as gloriously as the Venus of the sky. When thou wakest, if she be by, beg of her for remedy.
Captain of our merry band, Helena is here at hand. And the youth mistook by me, pleading for a lover's fee. Shall we therefore on pageancy? Lord, what fools these mortals be!
Stand aside. The noise they make will cause Demetrius to awake.
Then it too will once be one, that must need be sport alone. And those things do best please me, that performs preposterously.
Why should you think that I should woo in scorn? Scorn and derision never come in tears. Look, when I vow, I weep, and vows so born in their nativity, all truth appears. Why should these things in me seem scorn to you? Wearing the badge of faith to prove them true.
You do advance your cunning more and more, and truth kills truth, oh devilish holy fray. These vows are Hermia's. Will you give her o'er? Weigh oath with oath, and you will nothing weigh. Your vows to her and me put into scales will even weigh, and both as light as tail.
I had no judgment when to her I swore.
Nor none. In my mind may you give her o'er.
Demetrius loves her, he loves not you.
Oh, Helen, goddess, nymph, perfect, divine, to what, my love, shall I compare thine eyne? Crystal is muddy. Oh, how ripe and show thy lips, those kissing cherries, tempting grow, that pure congealed white, high Taurus snow, fanned with the eastern wind, turns to a crow, and now holds up thy hand. Oh, let me kiss this princess of pure white, the seal of bliss.
Oh, spite! Oh, hell, I see you all are bent to set against me for your merriment. If you were civil and knew courtesy, you would not do me thus much injury. Can you not hate me, as I know you do, but you must join in souls to mock me too? If you were men, as men you are in show, you would not use a gentle lady so, to vow and swear and superpraise my parts, when I'm sure you hate me with your hearts. You both are rivals in love, Hermia, and now both rivals to mock Helena? A trim exploit, a manly enterprise, to conjure tears up into poor maid's eyes with your derision. None of noble sort would so offend a virgin and extort a poor soul's patience, all to make you sport.
You are unkind, Demetrius, be not so. For you love Hermia, this you know I know. So with all my will, with all my heart, in Hermia's love I yield up my part. And to yours of Helen to me bequeath, whom I do love and will until my death.
Never did mockers waste more idle breath.
Lysander, keep your Hermia. I will none. If e'er I loved her, all that love is gone. My heart to her, but as guest-wise sojourned, and now to Helen is at home returned, there to remain.
It is not so.
Despair is not the fate thou dost not know, lest to thy peril thou abide it dear. Look where thy love comes, yonder is thy dear.
Dark night that from the eye his function takes, the ear more quick of apprehension makes. Wherein it doth impair the seeing sense, it pays the hearing double recompense. Thou art not by mine eye, Lysander found, mine ear I thanked it brought thee to thy sound. But why unkindly didst thou leave me so?
Why should he stay, whom love doth press to go?
What love could press Lysander from my side?
Lysander's love that would not let him bide. Helen, who all engilds the night with all your fiery O's and eyes of light. Why seekest thou me? Should not this show you the hate I bear thee made me leave thee so?
You speak not as you think, it cannot be.
Lo, she is one of this confederacy. Now I perceive they have conjoined all three to fashion this false sport in spite of me. Injurious Hermia, most ungrateful maid, have you conspired, have you with these contrived to bait me with this foul derision? Is all the counsel that we two have shared, the sisters' vows, the hours that we have spent when we have chid the hasty-footed time for parting us? Oh, is all forgot? All school days friendship, childhood innocence? We, Hermia, like two artificial gods with their muses created both one flower, both on one sampler, sitting on one cushion, both warbling of one song, both in one key, as if our hands, our sides, voices, and minds had been incorporate. So we grew together, like two double cherries, seeming parted, but yet a union in partition. Two lovely berries molded on one stem, so with two seeming bodies but one heart. Two of the first like coats and hair were due but to one, and crowned with one crest. And will you render ancient love asunder, to join with men in scorning your poor friend? It is not friendly, 'tis not maidenly. Our sex as well as I may chide you for it, though I alone do feel the injury.
You speak not as you think, it cannot be.
Have you not set Lysander as in scorn to follow me and praise my eyes and face? And made your other love, Demetrius, who even but now did spurn me with his foot, to call me goddess, nymph, divine and rare, precious celestial? Wherefore speaks he thus to her he hates? And wherefore doth Lysander deny your love so rich within his soul, and tender me, forsooth, affection? But by your setting on, by your consent, what though I be not so in grace as you, so hung upon his love, so fortunate but miserable most to love and love? This you should pity rather than despise.
I understand not what you mean by this.
I do, Crusader, counterfeit sad looks, make mouths upon me when I turn my back, wink each at other, hold the sweet jest up. This sport well carried shall be chronicled. If you have any pity, grace, or manners, you would not make me such an argument. But very well, 'tis partly mine fault which death or absence soon shall remedy.
Stay, gentle Helena, hear my excuse. My love, my life, my soul, fair Helena.
Oh, excellent.
Sweet, do not scorn her so.
If she cannot entreat, I can compel.
Thou canst compel, no more than she can entreat. Feather it, no more strength than her weak prayers. Oh, Helen, I love thee. By my life, I do. I swear by all that I will lose for thee to prove him false that says I love thee not.
I say I love thee more than he can do.
If thou sayest so, withdraw and prove it so.
Quick, come!
Lysander, where do you tend all this?
Oh, no, sir. You seem to break loose, take on as you would follow, and yet come not. Go to, you are a tame man, go.
Hang off, thou cat, thou bird, vile thing, let loose, or I will shake thee from me like a serpent.
Why are you grown so rude? What change is sweet love?
Thy love? Out, loathed medicine, hated potion, hence.
Do you not jest?
Yes, sooth, and so do you.
Demetrius, I'll keep my word with thee.
And would I had your bond, for I perceive a weak bond holds you. I'll not trust your word.
What? Should I hurt her, strike her, kill her dead? Though I hate her, I'll not harm her so.
What can you do me greater harm than hate? Hate me wherefore? Oh me, what news my Hermia, or not you, Lysander? I am as fair now as I was erewhile. Since night you left me, yet since night you loved me, why then you left me? Oh, the gods forbid, in earnest shall I say.
I, by my life, and never did desire to see thee more. Therefore be out of hope, out of question of doubt. 'Tis nothing truer, 'tis no jest, that I do hate thee and love Helena.
Oh me, you juggler, you canker blossom, you thief of love! What, have you come by night and stolen my love's heart from him?
Fine, a faith. Have you no modesty, no maiden shame, no touch of bashfulness? What, will you tear impatient answers from my gentle tongue? Fie, you counterfeit, you puppet, you
Puppet! Why so? Aye, this way goes the game. Now I perceive that she hath made compare between our statures. She hath urged her height, and with her personage, her tall personage, her height forsooth she hath prevailed with him. And are you grown so high in his esteem because I am so dwarfish and so low? How low am I, thou painted maypole? Speak. I am not yet so low, but that my nails can reach to thine eyes. No!
I pray you, though you mock me, gentlemen, let her not hurt me. I was never cursed. I've no gift at all in truishness. I am a right maid for my cowardice. Let her not strike me. You perhaps may think because she is something lower than myself that I can match her.
Lower her again!
Good Hermia, do not be so bitter with me. I evermore did love you, Hermia, did ever keep your counsels, never wronged you. Say that in love unto Demetrius. I told him of yourself into this wood. He followed you, for love I followed him, but he hath chid me hence, and threatened me to strike me, spurn me, nay, to kill me too. And now, so you will let me quiet go to Athens, will I bear my folly back and follow you no further. Let me go. You see how simple and how fond I am.
Why get you gone? Who is thou that hinders you?
A foolish heart that I leave here behind.
What with Lysander?
With Demetrius.
Fear not her, Helen, she shall not harm thee.
No, sir, she shall not, though you take her part.
Oh, when she's angry, she is keen and shrewd. She was a vixen when she went to school, and though she be but little, she is fierce.
Ugh, little again? Nothing but low and little. Why will you suffer her to flout me thus? Let me come to her.
Get you gone, you dwarf. You minimus of hindering, not grass maid. You bead, you acorn.
You are too officious in her behalf that scorns your services. Let her alone. Speak not of Helena, take not her part. For if thou dost intend never so little show of love to her, thou shalt abide it.
Now she holds me not. Now follow, if thou darest, to see whose right of thine or mine is most in Helena.
Follow, nay, I'll go with thee. Seek my dowry.
You mistress, all this foil is long of you. Nay, go on back.
I will not trust you. I no longer stay in your cursed company. Your hands and mine are quicker for a fray. My legs are longer, though, to run away.
I am amazed and know not what to say.
This is thy negligence. Still, thou mistakes, or else commits thy knaveries willfully.
Believe me, King of Shadows, I mistook. Did not you tell me I should know the man by the Athenian garments he had on? And so far blameless proves my enterprise that I had noted an Athenian's eyes. And so far I am glad they do so sort, for as their jingling I esteem a sport.
Thou seest these lovers seek a place to fight. Hide therefore, Robin, overcast the night. The starry welkin cover thou anon with drooping fog as black as Acheron. And lead these testy rivals so astray that one come not with another's way. Like to Lysander, sometime framed my tongue, and then stirred Demetrius up with bitter wrong, and sometime rail thou like Demetrius, and look thou lead them thus, till over their bowers death counterfeiting sleep, with leaden legs and baggy wings doth creep. Then crush this herb to Lysander's eye, whose liquor hath this virtuous property to take from thence all air with his might, and make his eyeballs roll with wonted sight. When they next wake, all this derision shall seem a dream and fruitless vision. And back to Athens shall the lovers wend, with a league whose death till death shall never end. Whilst I in this affair do thee employ, I'll to my queen and beg her Indian boy, and then I will her charmed eye release from monsters' view, and all things shall be peace.
My fairy lord, this must be done with haste. For night swift dragons cut the clouds full fast, and yonder shine to us harbor girl, at whose approach ghosts wandering here and there, troop back from churchyard, damned spirits all. In the churchwood paths and burial, already to their watery beds are gone, for fears lest they should look their shames upon. They willfully exiled themselves from the light, and made with that consort with black proud night.
But we are spirits of another sort. I with the morning's love have oft made sport, and like a forester the groves may tread, even till the eastern gate, all fiery red, opening on Neptune with fair blessed beams, turns into yellow gold, his salt green streams. But notwithstanding haste, make no delay, we may effect the business yet ere day.
Up and down, I believe them, up and down. I am feared and filled in town, thou will lead them, up and down. Here comes one!
Where art thou, proud Demetrius? Speak thou now!
Here, villain, drawn and ready, where art thou?
I will be with thee straight.
Follow me then, to plan our ground.
Lysander, speak again! Thou runaway, thou coward, art thou fled? Speak! In some bush, where dost thou hide thy head?
Thou coward, art thou bragging to the stars, telling the bushes that thou lookst for wars, and wilt not come? Come, recreant, come, thou child. I'll whip thee with the rod. He has defiled the draws a sword at thee.
Yea, art thou there?
Follow my voice, will turn him into heel.
He goes before me and still dares me on. When I come where he calls, then he is gone. Oh, the villain is much lighter heeled than I, and followed faster than it fly. Now fallen I am in dark uneven way, and here will rest me. Come thou, gentle day, if but once thou show me thy grey light, I'll find Demetrius and revenge this slight.
Ho, coward! Why comest thou not?
Abide me, if thou darest! For well I wot thou runs before me, shifting every place, and darest not stand nor look me in the face. Where art thou now?
Come hither. I am here.
Nathan, thou mockst me. Thou shalt buy this dear if ever I thy face by daylight see. Now go thy ways. Faintness constraineth me to measure out my length from this cold bed. My day's approach look to be visited.
Oh, weary night, oh long and tedious night, abate thy hours. Shine compass from the east, that I may back to Athens by daylight from these that my poor company detest. And sleep that sometimes shuts up sorrow's eye. Steal me a while for mine own company.
Yes, but three. Come one more. Two both kinds make up four. Here she comes, cursed and sad. Cupid is a knavish lad, thus to make poor females mad.
Never so weary, never so in woe. Bedappled with the dew and torn with briars, I can no further crawl, no further go. My legs can keep no pace with my desires. Here will I rest me till the break of day. Heaven's shield, I stand there if they meet a fray.
On the ground, sleep sound. I'll apply to your eye, gentle lover remedy. When thou wakest, take true delight in the sight of thy former lady's eye. In your wake, in the country proverb known, that every man should take his own. In your waking shall be shown, Jack shall have Jill, not to go ill. The man shall have his mare again, and all shall be well.
Come, sit thee down upon this flowery bed, while I thy amiable cheeks do coy, and stick musk roses in thy sleek smooth head, and kiss thy fair large ears, my gentle joy.
Where's Peas Blossom?
Ready?
Scratch my head, Peas Blossom. Where's Monsieur Cobweb? Good Monsieur. Get you your weapons in hand and kill me a red-hipped humblebee at the top of a thistle. And, good Montfriar, bring me the honey bag. Do not fret yourself too much in the action, Monferio. And, good Monsieur, have a care the honey bag break not. I would be loath to have you overflown with a honey bag, Signor. Where's mon mustard seed?
Ready?
Give me your nief, good monsieur. I pray you leave your courtesy, Montfriar.
What is your will?
Nothing, except to help Cavalry Peas Blossom to scratch. I must to the barber's, for methinks I am marvelous hairy about the face. And I am such a tender ass, if my hair do but tickle me, I must scratch.
What, wilt thou hear some music, my sweet love?
I have a reasonable good ear in music. Let's have the tongs and the bones.
Or say, sweet love, what thou desirest to eat?
Truly a peck of provender. I could munch your good dry oats. Methinks I have a great desire to a bottle of hay. Good hay, sweet hay hath no fellow.
I've a venturous berry that shall seek the squirrel's horn and fetch thee new nuts.
I'd rather a handful or two of dried peas. I pray you, let none of your people stir me. I have an exposition of sleep come upon me.
Sleep thou, and I will wind thee in my arms. Fairies, be gone, and be always away. the barky fingers of the elm. How I love thee, how I dote on thee.
Welcome, good Robin. Seest thou this sweet sight? Dotage now I do begin to pity for meeting her of late behind the wood, seeking sweet favors for this hateful fool. I did upbraid her, and fall out with her, for she as her temples had rounded with a coronet of fresh and fragrant flowers. And that same dew which sometime on the buds was wont to swell like round and orient pearls, stood now within the pretty flowerets' eyes like tears that did their own disgrace bewail. When I had, at my pleasure, taunted her, and she in mild terms begged my patience, I then did ask of her her changeling child, which straight she gave me. And her fairy sent to bear him to my bower in fairyland. And now I have the boy. I will undo this hateful imperfection of her eyes. And gentle Puck, take off this transformed scalp from off the head of this Athenian swain, that he awaking when the other do may to Athens back again repair, and think no more of this nice accident, but as the fierce vexation of a dream. But first, I will release the fairy queen. Be as thou wast wont to be. See as thou wast wont to see. Diana's bud or Cupid's flower hath such force and blessed power. Now, my Titania. Wake you, my sweet queen.
My Oberon, what visions have I seen? Methought I was enamored of an ass.
There lies your love.
How came these things to pass? How mine eyes do loathe his visage now?
Oh, silence a while, and Robin, take off this head. Titania, music call, and strike more dead the common sleep of all these 5 descents.
Music, ho! Music such as charmeth sleep.
When thou wakest, thine own fool's eyes peep.
Come, my queen, take hands with me and rock the ground whereon these sleepers be. Now, thou and I are new in amity, and will tomorrow midnight solemnly dance in Duke Theseus' house triumphantly, and blessed to all fair prosperity. So shall the pairs of faithful lovers be wedded with Theseus, all in jollity.
Fairy king at the attended mount, I do hear the morning light.
Now, my queen, in silent sad trip we after the night's shade. We the globe can compass soon, swifted in the wandering moon.
Come, my lord, and in our flight, tell me how it came this night that I sleeping here was found with these mortals on the ground.
libation is performed, and since we have the wayward of the day, my love shall hear the music of my hounds uncouple in the western valley. Dispatch, I say, one of you, and find us the forester. We will, fair queen, up to the mountain's top, and mark the musical conjunction of hounds and echo of conjunction.
I was with Hercules and Cadmus once, when in a wood of Crete they bade the bear with hounds of Sparta. Never did I hear such gallant chiding, for, besides the fountains, the skies, the groves, every region near seemed all one mutual cry. I never heard so musical a discord, such sweet thunder.
My hounds are bred of the Spartan kind, so flued, so scented, and their heads are hung with ears that sweep away the morning dew, crooked in dewlaps like Thessalian bulls, and their mouth is matched like bells, each under each. A cry more tunable was never hollowed to, nor cheered with horn, in Crete, in Sparta, nor in Thessaly. Judge what you hear. But soft, what nips are these?
My lord, this is my daughter here asleep, and this Lysander, and this Demetrius's, and this Helena. Old Mater's Helena. I wonder of them being here together.
No doubt they rose up early to observe the rite of May, and, hearing our intent, came here in grace of our solemnity. But speak, Aegeus, is not this the day that fair Hermia should give answer of her choice?
It is, my lord.
Go, bid the huntsmen wake them with their horns. Good morrow, friends! St. Valentine is past. Begin these wood birds but a couple now. Pardon, my lord. I pray you all stand up. I know you two are rival enemies. How comes this gentle concord in the world, that to sleep by hate and fear no enmity?
My lord, I reply amazedly, half sleep, half waking. But I truly cannot say how I came here. Or methinks me so it is. I came here with Hermia hither. Our intent was to be gone from Athens, where we might, without peril from the Athenian law.
Enough, my lord, you have enough. I beg the law upon his head. They would have stolen away. They would, Demetrius, thereby to have defeated you and me. You of your wife, me of my consent that she should be your wife.
My lord, fair Helen told me of their self, of this their purpose, hither to this wood, and I in fury hither followed them, fair Helena in fancy following me. But, my good lord, I wot not by what power, but by some power it is. My love to Hermia, melted as the snow, seems to me now as the remembrance of an idol god which in my childhood I did dote upon. And all my faith, the virtue of my heart, the object and the pleasure of my eye, is only Helena. To her, my lord, was I betrothed ere I saw Hermia, but like in sickness did I loathe this food, but as in health come to my natural taste. Now I do wish it, love it, long for it, and will forevermore be true to it.
Fair lovers, you are fortunately met. Of this discourse we more will hear anon. Aegeus, I will overbear your will, for in the temple by and by with us, these couples shall eternally be knit. And now is the morning something worn, our purposed hunting shall be set aside. Away with us to Athens, 3 and 3. We'll hold the feast in great solemnity. Come, Hippolyta!
These things seem small and undistinguishable, like far-off mountains turned into clouds.
Methinks I see these things with parted eyes and everything seems double.
So methinks, and I have found Demetrius like a jewel, mine own and not mine own.
But are you sure that we are well awake? Seems to me that yet we sleep. We dream. Do not you think the Duke was here and bid us follow him?
Yea, and my father.
And Hippolyta.
And he did bid us go with him to the temple.
Why then we are awake. Let's follow him. And by the way, let us recount our dreams.
dew comes, call me, and I will answer. My next is most fair Pyramus. Peter Quint, flute the bellows mender, snout the tinker, starveling. God's my life stolen hence and left me asleep. I have had a most rare vision. I have had a dream past the wit of man to say what dream it was. Man is but an ass if he go about to expound this dream. Methought I was... There is no man can tell what. Methought I was, and methought I had, but man is a patched fool if he will offer to say what methought I had. The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen, man's hand is not able to taste, his tongue to conceive, nor his heart to report what my dream was. I will get Peter Quince to write a ballad of this dream. It shall be called Bottom's Dream, because it hath no bottom. And I will sing it in the latter end of our play before the Duke. For adventure to make it the more gracious, I will sing it at her death.
Bottom's house? Has he come home yet? He cannot be heard of. Out of doubt he is transported.
If he comes not, the play is marred. Goes not forward, doth it?
It is not possible. You have not a man in all of Athens able to discharge Pyramus, but he...
No. He had simply the best wit of any handicraft in Athens.
Yea, and the best person too. He was a very paramour for a sweet voice.
You must say paragon. Paramours. God bless us, a thing of naught.
Masters, the Duke is coming from the temple, and there is 2 or 3 lords and ladies more merry. If our sport had gone forward, we had all been made men.
Oh, sweet fool, he thought of. Thus had he lost 6pence a day. He could not escape 6pence a day. And the Duke had not given him 6pence a day for playing Pyramus. I'll be hanged. He would have deserved it. 6pence a day in Pyramus, or nothing.
What is that? Where are these hearts?
Oh, Bottom, a most courageous day, a most happy hour.
Masters, I am to discourse wonders, but ask me not what, for if I tell you, I'm no true Athenian, but I will tell you everything right as it fell out.
Let us hear, sweet Bottom.
Not a word of me. All that I will tell you is that the Duke hath dined. Get you your apparel together, good strings to your beards, new ribbons to your pumps. Meet presently at the palace, every man look o'er his part, for the short and long of it is, our play is preferred. In any case, let this be have clean linen, and let not him that plays the lion pare his nails, for they shall hang out for the lion's claws. And, most dear actors, eat no onions or garlic, for we are to utter sweet breath, and I do not doubt but to hear them say, it is a sweet comedy.
Theseus that these lovers speak of?
More strange than true. I never may believe these antique fables nor these fairy toys. Lovers and madmen have such seething brains, such shaping fantasies that it comprehends more than cool reason ever comprehends. The lunatic, the lover, and the poet are of imagination all compact. One sees more devils than vast hell can hold. That is, the madman. The lover, all is frantic, sees Helen's beauty in a brow of Egypt. The poet's eye in fine frenzy rolling doth glance from heaven to earth to heaven. And as imagination bodies forth the forms of things unknown, the poet's pen turns them to shapes and gives to airy nothing a local habitation and a name. Such tricks hath strong imagination, or in night imagining some fear, how easy's a bush supposed to bear.
But all the stories of the night told over, and all their minds transfigured so together, more witnesseth than fancied images, and grosses something of great constancy, but howsoever strange and admirable.
Here come the lovers, full of joy and mirth. Joy, gentle friends, joy and fresh days of love accompany your hearts.
We waited your royal walks, your board, your bed.
Come now, what masks, what dances shall we have to wear away the long age of 3 hours between our after supper and our bedtime? Where is our usual manager of mirth? Are there no rebels at hand? Call Phyllis straight.
Here, my
Say, what abridgment have we for this evening? What mask? What music? How shall we beguile the lazy time, if not with some delight?
make a choice of which sports and play.
Ahem. The Battle of the Centaurs, to be sung by an Athenian eunuch to the harp. Well, none of that. That if I told my love in honor of my kinsman Hercules. The tipsy Bacchanals tearing the Thracian singer in the rage. That is an old device, and it was played from when I from Thebes came last a conqueror. The thrice three muses mourning the late learning, late deceased in beggary. That is some satire, keen and critical, not sorting with a nuptial ceremony. The very brief scene of young Pyramus and his love Thisbe, very tragical mirth. Merry and tragical, tedious and brief. That is hot ice and wondrous strange snow. Where shall we find the concord of this discord?
A play, my lord, 10 words long, which is the briefest I have known to play. But by 10 words, my lord, it is too long, which makes it tedious. For in all the play there is not one word apt, one player fitted, and tragical it is, my noble lord. For Pyramus Therian doth kill himself, which when I saw rehearsed, I must confess made mine eyes water. But more merry tears, passion without laughter never shed.
What are they that do play it?
Hard-handed men that work in Athens here, which never labored in their minds till now, and now have toiled their unrested memories with the same play against your nuptial.
And we will hear it.
No, my noble lord, it is not for you. I have heard it over, and believe me, it is nothing, nothing in the world, unless you can find sport in their interns extremely stretched and conned with cruel pain to do your service.
I will hear that play, for never anything can be amiss when simpleness and duty tendered. Go, bring them in, and take your places, ladies.
I love not to see wretchedness and his duty, I would love not to see wretchedness and his duty, in his service perishing.
Why, gentle sweet, you shall see no such thing.
He says they can do nothing in this kind.
Good kind are we to give them thanks for nothing. Our sport shall be to take what they mistake. For what poor duty cannot do, noble respect takes it and might not merit. Where I have come from, great clerks of purpose to greet me with premeditated welcomes, where I have seen them shiver and look pale, and make periods in the midst of sentences, throttle their practiced accent and their fears, and in conclusion, dumbly it broke off, not paying me a welcome. Yet out of this silence I put to welcome, and in reading as much of this rambling tongue, of saucy and audacious eloquence. Love, therefore, in tongue-tied simplicity to speak most in my capacity.
So please, my lord, do pull out his address.
Bring him in.
If we offend, it is with our goodwill, that you should think we come not to offend, but with goodwill. To show our simple skill that is the true beginning of our end. Consider then we come but in despite. We do not come as minding to content you. Our true intent is all for your delight. We are not here, that you should come here to repent you. These actors are on hand, and by their show you shall know all that you are like to know.
This fellow doth not stand upon points.
No, he hath written his prologue like a rough colt. He knows not the stop.
A good moral, my lord. It is not enough to speak.
A good moral, my lord, it is not enough to speak, but to speak true.
Indeed, he hath played on his prologue like a child in a quarter, a sound, but not in government.
His speech was like a tangled chain, nothing impaired, but all disordered. Who is next?
Examples pertain to one of the show, but one around us with great all things plain. This man is Pyramus, if you know. This beauteous lady, Thisbe is certain. This man was Latin around past, present the wall, for if you know. Through watching, they were content to whisper, I wish I know my mother. This man was lantern, and bushes, dog and bushes, 27 moonshine. If you know by moonshine, did these lovers think no scorn to me at Ninus tomb, and there to woo. This grisly beast was flying high by name, the trusty Thisbe coming first by might, did scare away, or rather did fright, and as she fled her mantle, did she fall, with lion, vile, bloody mouth to sing, and on her pyramid, sweet youth and tall, finds the trusty Thisbe's mantle slain, whereat with blade, with bloody blade, for blade, too greatly both, and boiling, running, rise, with Thisbe tearing and mulberry shade, whereat with blade and dagger drew and died. For all the rest that lion, moonshine, wall, and lovers plain, at large discourse while here they do remain.
I wonder if lion be to speak.
No wonder, my lord. One lion may when many asses do.
In this same interlude it doth befall that I, one snap I may present. A wall. And such a wall as I would have you think that had in it a cranny hole or chink, through which the lovers Pyramus and Thisbe did whisper, often very secretly. This loam, this rough cast, and this stone doth show that I invent a wall. The truth is so. And this the cranny is right and sinister, through which the fearful lovers are to whisper.
Would you desire Lyman Hare to speak better?
It is the wittiest partition, my lord, that ever I heard discourse.
Pyramus draws near the wall. Silence.
Oh, grim-looked night! Oh, night with hue so black! Oh, night, whichever art, when day is not! Oh, night! Oh, night! Alack! 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 I fear my Thisbe's promises forgot! Now, oh wall, oh sweet, oh lovely wall that stands between her father's ground and mine. The wall, oh sweet and lovely wall, show me thy chink to blink through with mine eye. Thanks, courteous wall. Jove shield thee well for this. But what say I? No Thisbe do I see. Oh, wicked wall, through whom I see no bliss. Cursed be thy stones for us deceiving me.
Wall, methinks, being sensible, should curse again.
No, in truth, sir, you should not. Deceiving me is Thisbe's cue. She is to enter now, and I'm to spy her through the wall. You shall see, it will fall pat as I told you. Yonder she comes.
Oh, full often hast thou heard my moans, for parting thy fair Pyramus
My cherry lips have often kissed thy stone. Thy stones with live and hair knit up in thee.
I see a voice. Now will I to the chink to spy, and I can hear my Thisbe's face. Thisbe!
My love, thou art! My love! I think.
Think what thou wilt, I am thy lover's grace, and like Lymander am I trusty still.
And I like Helen, till the fates me kill.
Not Shafalish the Procrus was so true.
I Shafalist, put an Anoka's eye to you.
Oh, kiss me through the hole of this vile wall.
I kiss the wall's hole and not your lips at all.
Wilt thou at Ninny's too meet me straightway?
Ninus?
Wilt thou at Nurnus too meet me straightway?
Tight life, tight death. I go without delay.
Thus have I, wall, my part discharged so, and being done, this away will not go.
Now was the mural done between the two neighbors.
No remedy, my lord, when walls are so willful to hear without warning.
The best in this kind are but the worst, and the worst are no worse if imagination amend them.
It must be your imagination then, and not theirs.
If we imagine no worse of them than they of themselves, they may pass for excellent men. Here come two noble beasts in, a man and a lion.
You, ladies, you, whose gentle hearts do fear, the smallest monstrous mouse that creeps on floor, may now perchance with quake and tremble here, when lion rough and mildest rage doth roar. For that I once nugged the ginger, and the lion fell, nor else no lion strike, for I, as lion come into this place, pour pity on my life.
A very gentle beast of a good conscience.
The very best set of beasts, my lord, that ever I saw.
He is a very fox for his valor. True, and goose for his discretion.
Not so, my lord, for his valor cannot carry his discretion, and the fox carries the goose.
Then his discretion cannot carry his valor, for the goose carries not the fox. But it is well, leave it to his discretion, and let us listen to the moon.
This lanthorn doth the horned moon present.
He should have worn the horns on his head.
He is in the crescent, and his horns are invisible within their circumference.
This lanthorn doth the horned moon present. Myself I, the man in the moon, do seem to be.
This is the greatest error of all the rest. The man should be put into the lanthorn. How else is it the man in the moon?
He dares not come in there for the candle, for you see it is already in snuff.
Proceed, moon.
All I have to say is that this lanthorn is the moon, I, the man in the moon, this thorn bush, my thorn bush, and this shot, my dog.
Why all these should be in the lantern, for all these are in the moon! The silence. Here comes Thisbe.
This is old Ninny's tomb. Where is my love?
Well roared, lion. Well run, Thisbe.
Well shown, moon. Truly the moon shines with good grace.
Well moused, lion. And the lion vanished.
And then came Pyramus.
Sweet moon, I thank thee for thy sunny beams. I thank thee, moon, for shining now so bright. For by thy great gracious golden glittering gleams, I trust to take of truest Thisbe's sight. But stay! Oh, spite! But mark, poor knight, what dreadful dole is here! Eyes, do you see? How can it be? Oh, dainty duck! Oh, dear! Thy mantle good? Oh, what, stained with blood? A cheer! Come, tears confound! Out, sword! Ah! 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 And wound the pap of Pyramus! Aye, that left pap where heart doth pop. Thus die I! Thus! 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 Now am I dead! Now am I fled! My soul is in the sky! Tongue, lose thy light. Moon, take thy flight. Moon, take thy flight.
Oh.
Now, die. Die! 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 Die!
No die, but an ace for him, for he is but one.
For he is an ace man, he is dead, he is nothing. With the help of a surgeon, he might get recovered and prove an ass.
Perchance Moonshine is gone before this becomes back and finds her lover.
She will find it by starlight. Here she comes, and her passion ends the play.
Methinks she should not use a long one for such a Pyramus. I hope she will be brief.
A mote will turn the balance, which is the better. Pyramus, which this be. He for a man, God warrant us. She for a woman, God bless us.
And she has spied him already with those sweet eyes.
And thus she means, villainous!
My love! What? That a tomb must cover thy sweet eyes. These lily lips, this cherry nose. Oh God! Oh God! Lovers make bold! His eyes were green as wheat. Oh, sister spring, come to me with hands as pale as milk. Lay them in gore, since you are sure with shears and thread of silk. Come, come, trusty sword. Come, blade my breast in peace. Hold it. Farewell, friends. Thus this spear. Adieu. Adieu. Hold it. Adieu. Hold it.
Moonshine and Lion are left to bury the dead.
Aye, and wall too.
No, assure you the wall is down and part of their fathers. Oh. Will it please you to see the epilogue or to hear a burgomass dance between two of our company?
No epilogue, I pray you! For your play needs no excuse. Never excuse, for when the players are all dead, there needs none to be blamed. Marry, if he that writ it had played Pyramus and hanged himself in Thisbe's garter, it would have been a fine tragedy. But it is truly and very notably discharged. But come, your burgomask, let your epilogue alone. The iron tongue of midnight hath told 12. Now the iron tongue of midnight hath told 12 lovers to bed. 'Tis almost fairy time. I fear we shall outsleep the coming morn. this night much overwatched, this palpable gross play of well-beguiled the heavy gait of night. Sweet friends to bed, for tonight we hold we this solemnity in nightly revels and in new jollity.
Now the hungry lion roars, and the wolf behowls. The moon whiles, the heavy plowmen snore, all with the weary task foredone. Now the wasted brands do glow, and the screech owl screeching loud puts the wretch that lies in woe in remembrance of a shroud. Now it is the time of night, when graves are gaping wide. Everyone lets forth his sprite, in the turquoise paths do glide, and we fairies let you run by the troop hectic steam, by the presence of the sun, following the darkness like a dream. Now we frolic, not a mouse shall disturb this hallowed house. I am sent with broom before, to sweep the dust behind the door.
Through this palace with glimmering light, by the dead and drowsy fire, every elf and fairy sprite, help us light his bird from briar, and this ditty after me, sing and dance it trippingly.
First rehearse your song by rote, to each word a warbling note. Hand in hand with fairy grace will we sing and bless this place.
Now, until the break of day, through this house each fairy stray, to the best bride bed will we, which by us shall blessed be, and the issue there create ever shall be fortunate. So shall the couples three ever true and loving be, and the blots of nature's hand shall not in their issue stand, never mole, hairlip, nor scar, nor mark prodigious such as are despised in nativity shall upon their children be. If this field do consecrate, every fairy take his gate, each several chamber blessed through this palace with sweet peace, and the owner of it blessed ever shall in safety rest. Trip away, make no stay, meet me all by break of day.
If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended. If we have but slumbered here, while these visions did appear, and thus weak idled them, no more yielding but a dream. Gentles, do not reprehend. If we pardon, I will mend. Thus to escape the serpent's tongue, we will make amends ere long. Else the puck a liar call. So good night unto you all. Give me your hands if we be friends, and Robin shall restore amends.